Hey gang, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. Never use your teeth to open a tube of paint. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, Yahoo. Whew. So I started this painting a couple hours ago and have zipped through the, I'm not sure if I zipped or not, but anyway, I've gotten through the acrylic phase and am ready to move on to oil. So this is going to be a short broadcast, which is a good thing because I've been burning up the YouTube lines all evening so far. And I'm going to start by warming up this painting quite a bit. So oxide red, which is brown, very close to, I'm seeing a little bit of Indian yellow, which is a very potent yellow, and then some kind of orange. I forget what. It's not a CAD orange, because I want to avoid CADs. No, that's not it. I forget what brand it is. Sorry about that. But it's very potent, whatever it is. It's a very strong and reddish orange. So, okay, where to start? At this point, your viewing pleasure decreases significantly because I'm using Liquin. Okay, for you newcomers, that's Winsor Newton Liquin gel. That's my favorite glazing medium. I just realized I should have a fan going on in here. I'll go get a fan in a minute. But your pleasure decreases because the painting now becomes decidedly glossy. And so you get a lot more glare than you had earlier. It was bad enough earlier, now it's worse. It pretty much remain that way for the rest of the painting process. Why am I warming up the painting? Well, that's very typical of me, although in here in a few minutes I'm gonna also dip into some blue stuff and do blue on the painting. But generally speaking, you want a warm painting, usually, most of the time, not always. One of the reasons I'm doing it is because the green as it's not a cool green, but it's not as warm as it could have been. And it's looking really good with this brownish glaze on top of it. Brownish, orange, yellow-ish glaze. Looks better already. So if there's anybody watching me that hasn't watched me do this before, let me see if I got any comments. We do, good. UO12, good evening, Dan. Good evening to you. And Wisconsin, Greg. Hey, man, good to see you again. Thank you for joining me tonight. I think you're an hour behind us, right? It's about 9:30 there, Greg. It's 10:30 here. This is a commission painting, and it's been in the works for over 2 years. And last night, I finally got the go-ahead from the client. And my wife and I are taking off for Flagstaff, Arizona in 4 days on Tuesday. 5 days? Whatever that is, and I got a lot. Anyway, I want to deliver this painting, and would like to get paid before we take off. So I am working fast, burning a little midnight oil to get this thing done. So far, so good. I had hoped to get into oils tonight. Tomorrow is a very short day for me, and I'll be broadcasting tomorrow evening from Wilson, North Carolina. At Peggy's gallery. Mine's going blank. And but I don't have a lot of time to devote to this tomorrow. or Saturday. So it just, and yet I want to be done by Sunday. So there you go. Sometimes you have to work hard no matter what your job is. Of course, I mean, really, call this work? I feel mildly guilty, don't I? So how do you get to be a good artist? It's real simple. Have a lot of skill and work your butt off. Same as everything else. In other words, right? Same as everything else. Not that I've arrived by any means. Not even close. In fact, I've been saying, literally saying publicly for about 14 years now, I guess, that I hope to be a good painter by the time I'm 70. Now, when I started saying that, it was a good 20 years off. Now it's only 5.5 years off. And dang, I have my work cut out for me. And I am not, by the way, being humble. And I'm not eliciting the response, oh, Dan, you're good already. No, shut up. You're going to be bitterly disappointed if you falsely accuse me of humility. Because in a minute I'm about to disillusion you of that wrong impression. I'm an okay artist. I am what I am. It's not a matter of comparison, of course. But when I say I want to be a good artist by the time I'm 70, I mean I want to be G. Harvey. I don't mean I want to be them. I want to be known. I'd like to be known. And I may fall miserably short of that goal. But I say, shoot for the stars and hit the moon, rather than shoot for the ground and hit it every time. So anyway, so I'm aiming high. I want to be a good artist, and I'm working pretty hard in that direction. Very happy to report I'm a better artist than I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. So that's good. That's good. Okay, so I have covered the entire canvas with various shades of warm. Yeah, 9:30 there, Greg. Thought so. Not quite so late. Huh, I grew up in Michigan, not too far from you there, Greg. And then my wife and I lived in Minnesota, too. Two of our kids were born in the Twin Cities area. So I've lived on both sides of Wisconsin. Born in Canada. Still have a lot of relatives in Canada and have a lot of affection for the Midwest and Canada. Love to get back and visit whenever I can. Right now I just darkened that corner considerably with some purple violet. Dioxazine violet works very well in combination with the oxide red, the brown, to create nice, rich, dark. It's not a hard and fast rule that you should vignette, that is, fade to dark, all the corners of your painting. In fact, a vignette can also be fading to light, by the way. It's not a hard and fast rule, but it's generally what I do in my paintings. More likely to fade to dark at the corners than anything else. Usually it's a pretty useful trick. I mentioned earlier too that this is a threshold painting. That is to say that the closest part of the scene is in shadow, and we step over it as if over a threshold into the scene that we're looking at. By no means a hard and fast rule, but often a good principle to keep in mind. Okay, one of the things I want to do with this layer right here is make sure that I have adequate darks. I think, at least for now, I have adequate lights, but I don't quite have adequate darks yet. So I'm going to take a few minutes and push all of these dark areas. You can't have light if you don't have dark, of course, and I certainly want light in this painting. So that means I have to have adequate darks. Yeah, that's looking nice. I'm liking that. I need some green. I don't really need green, but I want I want some green. I talked earlier today about how you never have to put green on. Green is the easiest. It's the most dangerous color to use straight out of the tube. Let me see. I just put some plain old Viridian green out there. But it's a shortcut. If you want to do the job quickly, just grab a tube of green something and you're off. All of this is very transparent, of course. Now let me back up again for you, any newcomers who might be watching me. If you want a category, if you want a pigeonhole to put me in, if you want to fit me in the right place, I'll help you out here. It's one word. Dan Nelson. Oh yeah, he's that transparent guy. Okay, so that is probably the single greatest descriptor of my painting technique. Layers and layers and layers of transparent. And you get, in a painting, you get dark with transparent colors, light with opaque colors. Maybe repeat that if you want some part of your painting darker. Right now, that's what I'm doing, is darkening much of the canvas. So of course, I'm using transparent color. Now it's not. I didn't go out and buy a tube that was marked transparent. No, I'm adding enough medium to it, enough liquid, that it goes on transparent. Of course, at the same time, no, I'm not using white. Transparent white is an oxymoron. Or even yellow ochre. Transparent yellow ochre would likewise be almost as much of an oxymoron. Or Naples yellow. But those are very, very opaque, have a lot of white in them, if you will. Okay, so I'm liking it. All of a sudden, I just got a fresh glimpse of the painting. What does it look like to you guys? Hi, Owl Sketches. Nice to have you here. Again, I'm going to step back. I think I just need a little bit more dark up there at the top, and I think then I'm quite happy with the deep tones in the painting. See if you were with me earlier tonight, this shaft of light becoming very apparent now, which is good. That's exactly what I want. Play of light, most important aspect of a painting. See, it could be a very hodgepodge, higgledy-piggledy painting, right? Because it's almost all organic shapes. Now, fortunately, of course, I selected the path, the swing, the fence, and the birdhouses are all non-organic. Very, very important in my mind. Otherwise, everything's just nothing but organic shapes. And I don't love purely nature paintings. You know, the mountains, the mountain, stream, the hill, the brook, the river, the deer. Now, put a cabin or a castle in there, and then I'm interested. But I don't, because they're boring to me. I like the interplay of light and dark shape. No, that's not at all me. I like the interplay of organic and inorganic lines, straight lines, and curvy, messy organic. The combination of organic and architectural even that's why I paint so many cityscapes. It's an abstract. Now, I do love cities too, but the real reason I do it is because of the abstract reality that I like, the interplay between straight and curvy, organic and architectural. All right, it's time for pencils again. Yahoo! Happiness is every single stage of my painting process I like. Oh, wait, hang on. I almost forgot. Is there anything here I want to lift out with a rag? Usually this is a huge part of the process, but in this painting, for some reason, not so much. It's behaving very well. See, so I'm lifting off little bits, but the painting is doing what I want it to quite well without me lifting off. But I'll go ahead. This will slightly exaggerate the light effects. I suppose, and I've been preaching that message for so long. If you want another label to put on Dan Nelson, where do I fit in? Abstract realism. David LaFell, I heard, came up with that description for his painting. He said, yes, perfect. That describes me too. Abstract realism. Definitely realistic, but the abstract elements are more important than the picture elements, than the realism per se. Okay, now let me stand back. Yeah, okay, good. Glad I did that. Yeah, punched up the contrast just a little bit. It's so fun. Lifting off with a rag is so much fun. You just get to be a control freak without all the downsides of control freakiness. Okay, pencils, and I was just about to sharpen a couple of these. And I'm just going to do a few minutes of pencil with you watching. The downside is you really can't see the line. The lines are a little bit too fine for you to see very much what I'm doing. But I do want you to see the way that I draw. And again, repeat myself. Owly sketches. No, both brushes have paint on them. Both brushes, often two different colors of paint on the two brushes, often. Okay, now, pencil drawing. Of course, pencils are good for achieving realism, or similitude is the word I like to use. A more technically precise term, I think, than realism per se. Of course, pencils aid in that endeavor. But that is not the real reason or the primary reason why I use pencils. The main reason is, can I zoom in here so you can see what I'm doing? Is because I like the way it looks. Very abstract reason. I stumbled on this about 3 years ago, I think. The summer of 2015, 3.5 years ago now. For me, it was the summer of the abstract painting. I did over 200 abstract paintings in that one summer. I had a great, I still love, I love abstract painting. I love teaching abstract painting, partly because I'm a real abstract painting snob. I believe that abstract painting has gotten a bum rap because so many people do it so poorly that most people think anything goes. You can do whatever you want with abstract. It doesn't matter. And the opposite is true, in my opinion. In abstract painting, all you have is the bare, naked, abstract rules of painting without any picture of grandma's farm, if you will, okay? There's no sentimentality in abstract painting, so it's all rules. My wife just walked in. Hey, sweetie. I have some pictures of these bird houses. I better take a look at them. Oh, man. All kinds of things happening on there. So it was 3 years ago. I did hundreds of abstract paintings. I've done several since then, but that was the year of abstracts for me. And in that season, I started using pencils in my abstracts and liked it so much that I thought, wow, maybe I can use these on my regular painting. So I started, and at first I wasn't sure, but anyway, yes, I'm quite sure. I think it's probably a permanent thing now. There've been a couple times in the last couple of years then, well, I've been in a gallery and I've seen somebody else's paintings, twice in particular. Someone else had used a pencil in some of their paintings and not in others. And it was so clear to me that I liked the paintings that, yes, used the pencil so much better. So that encouraged me that it wasn't just, it wasn't just me. I have some objectivity now. So I'm not sure how well you can see this, but you see that my lines are slightly realistic, but really they're more meandering, more feathery, more about interest than realism, and that is definitely the case. And of course, right now I'm putting on too much pencil, but don't worry, I have several layers that come after this. That a lot of this pencil will get covered up, so I don't have to worry that I might be doing too much. Just do as much as I want. Just have fun making beautiful, beautiful little scratchy lines, not worrying that it's too much or that it's overdone, because it will. Many of these lines will get covered up. In fact, it's very possible I'll do pencils again before the end of the painting, because most of these will actually get covered up. There's a black lab down here, resting on its haunches. Important psychological focal point in the painting. Good, thanks. My wife says she loves it already. Yep. That's good. She knows too where I'm under the gun to get this one done. So I think that's probably enough. I'm going to continue without you. Now I would like, the next thing I'll do probably tonight or tomorrow, I don't know which yet. The next thing I will do is dark details with brushes. And again, just small bits, making sure, again, for the last time, making sure that my darkest areas are really punched in. Like I want to do some dark on this fence. Right now the fence is all pencil. That's not enough variety there. So I'll do dark details, and that would actually be a good point for me to call it a night, because then when I come back in the morning, all this will be dry, and it's a nice treat to be able to I need a picture of butterflies right now. It's always nice to be able to do my last couple of layers on dry paint instead of on wet. I don't usually get that opportunity. So if I can stay up late enough, it's almost 11 o'clock, so I don't know if I'll be able to hang in there much longer. But thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to end this broadcast right here. You're seeing a lot of how it's going to look. I'm also taken to sitting down. As you can see, it's been several hours of standing. I'm happy to say I'm happy with the painting so far. Okay, a couple other comments. All these sketches. Thank you, man. Glad you like the pencils. I like how you're using two hands. Seems to make the lines more fluid. You are exactly right, Ali. It is exactly right. Using the two hands does make me looser. If you're an artist, you should try it. It sounds like you are an artist, so go for it. Go for it. Give it a try. All right. Thanks, guys. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for